So absolutely delighted to say we're now joined by Julia Graham, the current president of FERMA, but sadly to be not so much for too much longer.
This is true, yes.
Well, I kind of look back and I remember 2 years ago interviewing you just as you were coming into the role when we were in Maastricht. So what has the last 2 years brought for you and the intervening time?
Well, I think those 2 years ago when I cast back my memory as to what I said at Maastricht, and I pitched the three themes of profession, innovation and diversity. If I had my time again, I think I'd stick to those three because they've been a really great framework around which to build what we've been trying to do to fulfill the purpose of what is FERMA. So for me, in those 2 years, the developments on certification have got to be something that gives us all complete delight. On innovation, I think the path has been slow, but I think we're getting a better grip of where we think the future of the world will be and the types of innovative solutions we need for the technological and intangible world that we're living and working in. So my theme today at the conference is maybe not living and working in a riskier world, but living and working in a new world and a riskier world. And I think we are on the path to understanding some of those issues. And then finally, the subject of diversity. You know, diversity for me is more than gender. It's about bringing in youth to the profession. It's about respecting experience. And it's about making sure that we have great cultural diversity in FERMA, as well as age and gender. So those three things for me all wrapped together to make for 2 years that I think FERMA's brand, awareness and relevance have really grown in stature in those 2 years. And I leave it sad, but I leave it proud in that sense.
And I mean, you were saying as we were chatting before the interview, you've got this kind of rolling on year now on the board as well, so that'll keep you in touch. So
we made some decisions to make sure that in FERMA we have succession and continuity managed, because we've reached a stage of maturity now where we need to go a little bit forward in terms of making sure that a president's term of office doesn't end and then it all starts again. So we introduced the role of deputy president, and it's been such a benefit to work with Joe Willard for a year because Joe and I have worked as a team. So when I hand over and he takes over, it's continuous. And then the FERMA board have asked me to stay on as the immediate past president, which I think is a role that we'll formalise at the next General Assembly, which means you get a year in learning, 2 years doing, and then a year making sure that you follow through things you started. So from a continuity point of view, I think that's a really great way to go.
And if we kind of focus the telescope a little further ahead into the future, where do you think FERMA will be in the next 3 to 5 years, and what do you think the challenges the industry are that it should confront?
Well, I think anyone who knows what the next 5 years brings is a very brave person, but certainly in the next 3 years, I think FERMA will grow in its stature. I think some of the issues that we're developing, I've heard speakers here today say FERMA has a role in progressing and championing the profession, and I think that's what you'll see in the next 3 years. It was very interesting that PERIMA have already joined into the FERMA certification program, so we're already taking a lead in certain issues. I think our voice in Europe will be as strong as ever, and we have to retain this important understanding that FERMA exists to serve its members. So over those next 3 years, we have to be out there listening, counselling, asking what our members want us to do, and then making sure that we deliver what they ask us to. Because we're a members association after all. We don't exist to serve our own purpose, we exist to serve theirs. So I'm hoping that we may get more members. We announced Brima joining us from Bulgaria today. I think there may be 1 or 2 others, but it's the relevance and position of FERMA that I think, looking back in 3 years, you'll think, gosh, yes, they really have a voice, and it's an important voice and one worth listening to.
Well, as a members association, I guess on behalf of all of the members, just a thank you for everything you've done over the last 2 years for the association, and good luck into 2016 for yourself, so thank you.
Well, I really appreciate that, but it's been an utter privilege and joy, and it's been, I think in my career, an utter highlight of my life in risk and insurance, and I wouldn't have changed a bit.
Oh, it's lovely, lovely.
Thank
you,
you.
Julia. Thank you.
Thanks.